Looks like it is 11/7/2019, and this is the Opinionated podcast show.
Yes, how's everyone?
I'm doing well. Actually, kind of pretty well. It feels like a good week. All of my shows are back. All the bullshit of World Series and other things that just were not very important are, a thing of the past. So I am very, very happy about where we are this week.
Yes.
We actually took a little bit longer to get this episode recorded because I wanted to kind of wait for the return of some things. I love The Masked Singer, and I know that's kind of one thing that we cover quite a bit. So they were off due to the World Series, and then Power was out for like a week, just kind of pulling some Shondaland type shit. And then they're again out now until the 5th of January, still on some Shondaland shit. So that's just kind of what that is. But
right.
All in all, I feel pretty good. What about you?
I'm feeling good. Life is a funny thing, but you get through it and you keep going. So
yeah, you do.
And thank God for television.
Yeah. You do it. Don't let it do you.
Okay.
Otherwise, oops, whoop-de-doo.
Thank you for the Ronnie Ho quote.
So I don't know. I just want to start with getting some things off our chest. We've been pretty much kind of starting with rants each week, so I think we should just kind of continue that tradition of doing so.
Okay.
I think I want to start. My rant is pretty light. I just had it on my mind, particularly of like the shows in the 90s, early 2000s, and why they were named after the celebrity that was in the show, but the celebrity in the show had a different name or a different variation of name, i.e. Steve Harvey Show, Steve Hightower. You brought up Eve, which is a really good example. How the show is named Eve. This bitch's name is Shelly. Her name is Pauline, but I call her Olivia. Okay. I don't quite understand.
Martin Lawrence, Martin Payne.
You know what I'm saying? How we're doing all that.
But I can deal with the last names, but Eve and Shelly don't make no sense.
None. And so I was like, it's just quite interesting. I don't know why, we do this. Why not just, have him be Steve Harvey? But I guess, I don't know. But all in all, that's just kind of my rant for this week. What about you?
So my rant is, I understand that, the different labels and things that the children are coming up with, you got the trans girls and guys and the non-binary people who like to go by they and them. Mm-hmm. For some reason, people did not know that they can be singular or plural. Mm-hmm. It was definitely taught in school to me that they could represent a group of people or a singular person. Mm-hmm. So I had a conversation with someone recently who thought that they was just plural. Mm-hmm. So they are just now finding out that they too can be singular. Yeah. And I don't understand that. So when it comes to the non-binary folks, y'all just got to get over it. We are using grammatical English when they decide to use they, them. Yeah. It can be singular or plural. Please go and look it up. Dust out those English books. Get you a textbook or go on the Google.
Please.
And, get yourself educated. But there's no reason to be ignorant in this climate, especially off of basic English education. Mm-hmm. They can be singular or plural. So let's just make sure that we know what we're talking about when we're coming down on people for choosing pronouns outside of the she, her, he, him spaces. Mm-hmm. If somebody does not want to be referred to as that, they singular or plural, have the option to use those other ones. They have the option. Yeah. That it's not something made up. Nope. It's been around for a very long time now. So let's make sure we're using our Googles and not coming for people who are doing what they, singular plural, can do.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
We're going to go through and rule on that. Okay. People get things in order. All the things that need to be in order, get them in order, including your house.
All right.
Speaking of people who need to get their houses in order, the Masked Singer's back.
Yes, it is.
And everyone in the judges panel needs to get their house in order before they come back with these lame ass goddamn guesses. I'm tired of it. I know that they kind of do it for effect and for humor or whatever. It's just not as funny to me. So that's why I have the reaction that I do. But this particular week's episode of The Masked Singer was 2 hours long, considering that the World Series came and these girls said, "Who? No, ma'am. We were supposed to be on for the last 2 weeks. You didn't give us all of our things tonight." So The Masked Singer came on and pretty much just a person pressing play of the first week's episode that was missed and the second week's episode that was missed. We were able to eliminate the Penguin and the Black Widow this week. The Penguin actually ended up being Sherry Shepherd of The View fame, actress, comedian, all of the things. And then, of course, the Black Widow was the all-around talent and the one person from every continent in Africa, Miss Raven Simone. We are still a bit confused, or I guess unconfirmed, on the identity of the other, I guess, masked singers. We do feel pretty still strongly that Adrian Balon is the Flamingo. Thingamajig, I'm still feeling like it's Victor Oladipo. I don't find there to be another person that really just kind of hits the clues in that way. Right.
Michelle Williams is clearly the butterfly.
Oh yes, Michelle Butterfly Williams, who came out and did a wonderful version of Nora Jones. Don't know why.
Yes, she did.
I thought that was like really, really good for her voice. And then she kind of churched it at the end.
Yes, she did.
Why these hoes? In part, because some of them are guessing Michelle Williams, are pretending like they don't know her. I don't know. The only person that I'll kind of let slide, is Robin Williams. Not because
Robin
Thicke. Oh, excuse me, Robin Williams. Rest in peace. Robin Thicke. And the only reason why I kind of let him go with his answer is because he's really kind of going by the clues. And if you don't know that Michelle does Broadway and things like that, and travels and does things overseas, then that would kind of be a bit confusing. Of course, as well, I think that the clues are also kind of meant to throw you off a little bit as much as they are to inform you. I noticed that they were saying like bleeding love in reference to like, her being in overseas or whatever, in England or Great Britain or however that works out. And I think she also got a Brit Award. And I think that, so for that, it lets me allow Robin Thicke to kind of make the past guess of Leona Lewis, because before she sung, when I heard the clues, I said someone's going to sing Leona Lewis, and I think that that's kind of what they do.
Right.
I'm trying to say, who else do we have?
And we definitely know Patricia is the flower.
Of course.
Of course.
I want them to stop pretending. Again, I know that Dr. Ken is, I guess, kind of meant to, assist with the, comedic effect and whatnot. But Bjork is just a terrible guest for motherfucking Patti LaBelle. Even in the different style of song that she, the different style of singing that she kind of tried to present this week, Patty's still Patty, singing everything. Like, we've heard her sing the ABCs. We've heard her sing Love, Need, and Want You. Patty sang some of the right. Patty is Patty. Mm-hmm. You can't un-Patty Patty.
No, you can't.
It's not a peppermint patty. You feel me? It's not you can't un-Patty Patty.
No, you can't. Patty can't un-Patty Patty.
Exactly. It's just it's just is what it is.
As much as she tries, she can't.
Yeah, I was like, the guesses were just terrible. I feel like we're missing some people. Of course, the leopard.
I definitely think the leopard is Seal. I'm like 99.98% sure at this point that it's Seal.
I think that Seal kind of has this kind of European thing about him, and I think that European thing kind of translates to feminine or gay when it comes over here, especially from a man. So I feel like the guesses for Billy Porter are more so revolving around the mannerisms and things like that of the leopard versus the actual talent.
Being effeminate.
Yeah.
Even though the leopard clearly has an accent and Billy Porter does not. He has a dialect because of the region he grew up in, but he does not have an accent. I mean, if his accent would be American. Yeah. So
it doesn't have a British one.
It does not have a British one.
At all.
So, yeah.
So, but again, I think it's one of those things where they are looking to kind of confuse people with the clues. I think that because they know that some of the guesses are Billy Porter and things like that, they're making the clues real pose relevant. There's the little paper that said pose, and there's a camera, I guess, is intending to pose and so on. But it's just like, all of that aside, still,
Yeah,
you know that's not no motherfucking.
Oh, and then for the icing on the cake, it could have been the director, Tyler Perry.
Oh yes, Tyler
Perry,
Tyler Medea Perry herself. Who y'all will not go through and put those things on. Oh, Talisha. I'm not going to have it as long as I'm here and as long as that man is still sitting on the only goddamn black-owned independent film studio in the country.
Okay.
I'm not going to let it happen.
And he wouldn't have done it if it wasn't on his studio grounds, no way.
You feel me?
So, like, why does he need to leave?
Thank you.
So, no. Tyler Perry, like, Billy Porter, I can at least give it to y'all just by the mannerisms and the dress. And that's still just, I mean, that's problematic in itself. But I get where y'all are going. But Tyler Perry...
Yeah.
Because Tyler Perry and Billy Porter are in two completely different weight classes and heights and sizes. So it's like, is it Pauline? Is it Olivia?
That's
like,
what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't get where y'all are going with this. So
I need y'all to hurry up and get there because you ain't going too fast.
Yeah, that was a whole mess.
That was terrible.
That was cackle worthy.
I still don't know who his Rottweiler is. They're saying like Brian Luttrell or whatever. It's crazy. I feel like Raven really fucked me up. Because I feel like it was Raven at one point, and then I thought that it wasn't, and then and then again I kind of felt a little Ravenish, and then it ended up being Raven. So it makes me feel like I need to question myself regarding the singing, because I didn't know that Raven can sing like that. I've always thought that she, was a good singer, but I didn't know that she could sing in the way that she performed on the show. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I really loved her trap-inspired remix renditions of shit. That was like really, really cool. Yeah,
that was great.
So that's like Sister Rockweiler, so we don't know him.
I was thinking that it was maybe AJ from Backstreet Boys, possibly.
Yeah. I'm thinking somebody boy bandish. I wouldn't be mad about a Jonas brother. I don't know that it's Brian Luttrell. I just don't think that he has the range. I think JC has more of a range than he does, but again, I think kind of also how we talked and the fact that JC's voice would kind of be a little bit more recognizable, I think.
I think so.
That's the Masked Singer for us this week. We only know who we know, and everybody else is a good guess.
Right.
But speaking of guessing, I think one of the biggest guessing games of the week is who shot James St. Patrick.
Ooh.
Who did? I have my ideas.
Angie.
The ghost. First of all, I just feel like this particular episode of Power should have been called The Ghost of Christmas Past. Okay. Or somebody, child. The way these ghosts, ghouls, and goblins was popping up everywhere.
Everybody that died.
I had to look down and see, damn, is this the Halloween episode? Is this like, are we still in October? Because I was like, oh, there's Angela, AUSA Valdez. And then you turn around and here's goddamn Raina, and we ain't seen her ghosts since goddamn last time we probably seen Yaz. So
I am so sorry. Let me apologize now for what I'm about to say about this baby.
Oh, right now.
Yes, but I don't know who did her makeup, but it was casket sharp.
Baby, she couldn't look where she came from the casket.
They did not do ASUA Valdez like that.
But AUSA Valdez didn't go Terrell Brody. You know them white folks go through. She had Paz go through and help her out, baby. We go through and trust the funeral director.
Oh my god.
Because James is so wrapped up in the QC project, and Tasha's someone walking real hard trying to bounce this stiff ass wig.
But I'm saying like Tasha makeup be looking good like
she did
episode. But whoever, it's not Raina's fault, and it's not the actress who played Raina's fault, but whoever gave her that pancake 35 from Chanel's
fish sandwiches
from Chanel's, whoever did her makeup, they need to be put in Miss Trunchbull's choky. They need to go to the choky immediately. There was no reason for that baby to come back and look deader than she did when she got shot. Dead. Like I can't.
You woke up dead and looked still more dead than you was.
Okay, like I couldn't. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah, the Big Rich Town was
been haunted that day.
So haunted. It was crazy because I knew that the episode was either going to end with James being shot or with him going to jail. Mm-hmm. And I think they knew that because again, Power is a great show. I love it. And it does have some surprise elements to it. However, they are just not as good with the type of writing that will just really have you confused. You can pretty much kind of tell where things are going to go a lot of the times with Power. So I knew that we were going to end in one of those two scenarios, or whatever, and that the whole kind of campaign of the thing would be who shot Ghost, who shot Ghost. So, one, I don't think the Ghost is dead. I think he just got shot. And especially where that bullet hit him. If Ghost is dead, I'm gonna be mad at the fact that it just took one bullet to hit him, and it really hit him lower, like under his heart. Like my nigga Scarface went out so much harder than that and everybody else. So I just refuse for James St. Patrick to leave this earth with that measly ass shot. I think that because the season is called Betrayal, that we are going to... my picks for who killed James are going to be Tasha or Tariq. I mean, who shot James. Tasha or Tariq. To me, I think that those represent the two biggest betrayals that could happen for James. Mm-hmm. Although I think Tariq is a bigger betrayal than Tasha because I feel like she's more warranted in her doing and so on, and because of the nature of their relationship as it currently stands. Mm-hmm. It's not, I guess, really the most surprising to say. But I think that one of those two are going to be it. I think that they're kind of making it seem like it's going to be Tommy or whatever. He's the obvious choice, so I don't think it's going to be him. We know it's not Blanca because she heard the shot while she was still outside. I don't think it's Paz or whatever her name is because, again, she even knows that Ghost didn't do it. Like, she knows that he didn't do it. Right. I think at this point she just kind of feels like it may be a thing of... maybe scaring him into... know who did it, or like you said, just let me come with this gun and maybe in my mind you'll confess to me who it is. Was, yeah. My wild card guess though, because like I said, my guesses are Tariq and Tasha. The wild card would be Ramona. I know she was not listening to the thing, but I think that they just do this thing where it's always the least person that you think about. Right. I don't think it's Dre Dini, aka Dravid Blaine, aka Dravid Copperfield. You know, who's just always walking around, getting out of every situation he is in.
And it definitely was not no fucking Sax.
Yeah, Sax is...
he don't deserve.
That's not betrayal at all. Like, to me, that would be just more like vengeance or, just kind of getting even. By the way, speaking of Sax, this nigga got fired. Why are you still going to work? Why are you still participating in these things? And, I mean, I know why, but it's just like, why? In that way of right. Like, nigga,
what did you think?
Sit down. Like, what are they paying you? Like, how much do you? Stop. You like, I love this shit. Like, nigga, I fucking die for this shit, and I believe that because you are, goddamn it, just not gonna let them take the badge off your heart. They might have took the badge off your vest, or if you got them, but the badge is on your heart, baby, they can't get to.
And the fact that he was so easily able to manipulate Blanca into kind of turning into him and doing some fuck shit. But okay, so before we get out there, so as far as my pick for who shot James Jimenez, I'm hoping against all hopes that it's Tasha. Mm-hmm. I feel like Tasha deserves. I would love if James died just because it would be very Game of Thrones-y thing to do, like how they did with Ned Stark when Ned died. They was like, of course we're not going to get rid of the first person. They killed fucking Ned. So if they go ahead and take Ghost out mid-season, I won't be upset about that. And I do hope it's Tasha. Yeah. I think my wild card pick... I think my wild card will be Tommy. Mm-hmm. I think my wild card would be Tommy. I think Tommy, because he was a part of the family, would be another person who feels very betrayed, especially because like the whole FBI raid had just happened on his warehouse. Lakeisha Grant is no longer with us, and he blamed Ghost for that. Just a lot of stuff, just a lot of bad blood between them. Then the whole like Jason thing, where he told that Ghost was about to kill him and all of that stuff. So they've had some very recent bad blood bumping heads or whatever. So I think Tommy will be my wild card. But my hope, just against all things, is Tasha. I feel like Tasha D fucking deserves to be the one to have done it. Like I said, I don't know if James is dead, but if they pull a Game of Thrones during the better seasons, which is everything but 8, if they pull one of those and go ahead and let him give up the ghost before the end of the official season, I'm about it. I would love it. I would love to see that happen. So
I was like, I guess until January 5th to the big rich town, still just a lot of mess. I guess by that time, or because they're like what 4 or 5 episodes left in the big rich town, they're bringing us back in January for like a month's worth, and then we're done.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that's kind of what's going on.
I think it may be. I think probably 6 episodes tops. Like maybe 6 will be the highest.
Well, they need to come on because.
But yeah, Blanca turning into the new Sax. Like I cannot believe she allowed him to manipulate her into using Dre Dini to potentially get him for this whole Terry Silver thing. Like this whole
that felt very when
thing.
they see us. Like when they were sitting at the table. And they were just kind of, coercing the kids into saying what happened. Like, this nigga already started off wrong. He was like, we was in the apartment or whatever. And it was like, what? No, you said y'all were in the parking garage? Yeah, we were in the parking garage. We were, what? No, you were not. He was not. You don't know what the fuck happened. And for them to, they process Drake paperwork faster than anybody goddamn I know.
Drake gets in and out of federal custody and city custody.
Under 15 minutes custody. Tops.
15 minutes flat.
From the time they put him in the back of the car to the time the goddamn paperwork saying he walked in the door, it has not been 15 minutes.
Not at all.
And I don't understand what is getting him in
clothing
that situation.
Change and everything.
Is he just fucking his way through the goddamn, people at the police station so they just let him go or whatever? But at this point, I almost just I feel like you got to respect Dre. Like, for a nigga to go through and just keep slipping out of the hands of danger each and every time.
That man lubes up.
You have got to give a piece of respect. That's what we're going to do. Just a piece of respect for Dre's name.
He should be our musical spotlight.
Yeah, because Rotimi is not goddamn fit a motherfucking the Nigerian butterscotch. This is what they call himself.
Are you serious?
Yes. He has some video and he's like, it is me, the Nigerian butterscotch, and I am here. Concerned about their hot girl summer ending and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Dre.
Him and his facial mask and this good old bell pepper nose. But that's what be helping him smell his way out of danger. It's goddamn freedom is this way, freedom is that way.
Them Jackson 5 nostrils.
Yes, ma'am. Somebody gonna check on Beyonce.
So help me to understand this part, because he was in there because of Jason, right?
Yes.
So because he was willing to say that he was there at the Terry Silver thing, that let him out for a whole other murder.
Fuck Jason. Well, just saying, no, I feel like they already didn't believe that he did it. Like, I feel like there was a point in there where they felt like, I feel like someone said or gave mention to the fact that they, like, he's like, I didn't do it, and they was like, I know. So I feel like
maybe I missed the part, because I'm just like, how does being at the scene of a previous murder exempt you from this whole other murder? Because there are people who do commit multiple murders and you don't get out for one because of another. Yeah. So that part was really
but you kind of do
weird to me.
You do. Like, I was watching an interview on Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee and Remy Ma, and Remy was talking about how she hates snitches. There was conversation about snitching or whatever. And it wasn't so much of it didn't give so much of her disliking snitching because you're getting someone in trouble. It was more so a thing of she felt like being a snitch was like very cowardly, and it shows a very big flaw in the justice system. Here, I can commit this crime, but if I snitch on you, fuck what I did. And it's a bit, just kind of exaggerated in this sense, but I guess it's the same thing. It's like, yes, I did this and I've been doing this, but you want someone more, and if I give you that, then you'll wipe this out. Fuck what I did.
That's crazy.
It is. It's really just fucked up. And it's just like, but that's where it is. The system is a mess. People know how to run the system and shit, and this is the world that we live in.
That's crazy as hell.
Very much so.
I can't. But yeah, I think this was the best episode thus far. I really think James kind of being on his
because he read the fuck out of everybody.
Okay,
I get shot.
I knew they were coming for him because he went door
to door and gave everybody they goddamn they rights.
You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Bitch, you can't stop me. Nigga, you can't stop me. I cannot be stopped. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You ain't stopping me. What's your name? Fuck you. You not stopping me. What's your name? Fuck you. You not stopping me. Oh, you coming at me? You not stopping me. Like, he was on his and still I rise.
Yes, he is.
Okay? He was on his I will rise.
You
Jamie was out here reading bitches for
He read the fuck out of Tasha.
Okay.
He read the fuck out of... Like, he read Tommy so bad. Tommy was just like, no, how you... right. Nigga, you don't get to goddamn leave. I want you dead, but no, nigga, you don't get to go.
You don't.
Bitch, you leave me, I'll kill you, bitch.
Okay.
Girl, what the fuck? Type shit. Like, he went through and handed everybody... I'm talking about reading Ghost and The Living the same. I said, ooh. I can't. Like, I need to know not only who shot James, but who was trying to shoot James and Tommy when they were outside.
Right.
Like, this stray bullet popping out of nowhere. Like, is Lobos back on the scene with some little Lobos? I know he's dead, but we got some Lobositos out here. Or we got the Jasonettes, or... You know, the Benihana's, because Benny's gone. So,
the Benihana's,
or we trying to shoot goddamn Tommy for... Because, again, I don't know if I said it enough last week, but I was so disappointed in the Benny. Like, I fuck with Benny.
I did,
I hate that this little girl is going to be with Yaz in child custody.
Oh, Lisa.
Or with...
she going to turn into Vapor, because that's what Yaz is. Talking about, I'll take Yaz away from you. And it's like, take her
actually,
away.
but you know what? Yaz is actually probably the most protected.
She's probably emancipated.
That's Yaz.
Y'all are not raising me. So go ahead and sign these papers. I can't even go to grandma's house because she stay looking for me too, even though I be sitting there right in her face. So let me just go ahead and go. I'm gonna go raise myself. I'll be better off in the Pharaoh Wood country.
And she should have raised Lisa Marie. Goddamn it.
They gonna be out there emancipated.
Let me show you how to goddamn live in the... My daddy's name is Ghost. I'm gonna show you how to exist in the shadows, bitch. Okay. Ninja Ghost, bitch. Or some shit. So,
Yazzie.
Yeah.
DJ Yazzie Ghost.
Yaznobi, somebody out here. So, you know, all of our power
They're gonna be
back.
on they Kill Bill watch.
Yeah, they will.
They gonna come back as a band of
starting
bad
January
bitches.
5th is goddamn kill goddamn James St. Patrick.
Yes.
I don't know. So that was the Big Rich Town this week. One of the things that I was really, really excited for is that the Real Housewives of Atlanta came back this week. I know that she said you didn't get a chance to see it, but I'll catch you up and everybody else up.
I ain't watched these hoes in years, so I'll just be honest. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's still on there, who
don't
left,
feel bad.
who shot John, and why. I don't know.
I am here to catch you up on all the things.
Catch me.
Housewives of Atlanta. The Real Housewives of Atlanta started this past Sunday. They air every Sundays. And in episode 1, what I can tell you is that everyone has been nutted in for the most part. In some way, shape, or fashion. If they just didn't push the nut out in the form of a baby, they are carrying the nut in the form of a baby. Eva is pregnant. She's real good and pregnant. And she is, you know what I'm saying, just kind of waddling around, looking gorgeous and pregnant, of course. Kenya just popped out her baby, who looks like a doll. But it's just like everybody decided to fuck at the same time. So Kenya's baby is fresh, and it's her first time as a mom. So it's the first time since she's been nutted in, and it did something good. Portia and her baby are out here or whatnot, and she's a mom for the first time. I'm very excited for her. She's got nutted in and pushed her baby out.
Can you believe?
And I will say this: both of them goddamn kids look like they daddies. They look just like they daddies.
Ain't no
and that's
fighting
all
that
I'm
paternity.
saying.
Ain't no fighting that.
But Gorgeous Girl is still the same. And then Candy didn't get nutted in, but put nutting somewhere. Well, kind of got nutted in. They nutted in her eggs, but she put her eggs in a surrogate.
Can we?
So she actually was pregnant with, I think her surrogate had twins or was having twins for her, but she lost one of the girls, unfortunately. So that was very, very sad. But she's very thankful that she has a girl on the way. So that's the majority of the cast. Cynthia's thirsty, admittedly.
For nut.
For nut, yes, that might kill nut. Now, she's not going to turn her nut into anything because Cynthia's older than the rest of the girls. And she's past having the kids.
Them powdered eggs.
She's already got them giving her cheekbones to Noelle. But she is ready for Mike Hill to nut all up and through her.
Can we please?
And she is not afraid to tell you. She is pressuring this man to marry her. She's showing all the different type of rings that she wants, all the things, and he just looks so uncomfortable.
Pressure nut.
And I just really want her to just chill out because he clearly likes you. I feel like he liked you more than you liked him at first. And as you kind of signed up, you have taken it past. And I just hate for you to like kind of turn him off because y'all are like old people goals. As far as like, you know, we're not old. But people try to make us old, but bitch, we out here cooling the motherfucker, looking good. Cynthia's a badass bitch. And Mike Hill's a very attractive man, I think. They both, you know, just kind of feel like, you know, black excellence goals. Like, you know, nice job, shit like that. You doing shit. So, you know, great to them. Okay. Nene was not on the episode. or whatever. I don't know how many episodes she's going to be off with.
Y'all say you don't know how many nuts she caught.
No, well, her storyline this season from the preview seems like it's going to be about open marriages and such. So I guess they're just going to go around getting nutted in by different people.
Please,
Greg nutted in different people and her getting nutted in if that's the case.
Please. It's just I don't want to hear nothing about them with any kind of
doing anything.
So
I don't either.
We can go. We can move on.
Has that covered everybody? So it's Kenya, Portia, Cynthia, Eva, Nene, and Candy. Are those all the housewives?
I don't know.
Something about that feels...
Is Phaedra no longer here?
Unfortunately not. I would love for the Reverend Dr. Phaedra Parks to goddamn be back a part of this. I know they said they would like to have her back, but Candy is like one of the big dogs on the show. And
she's
so,
like, absolutely not.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not. If y'all can do it, but bitch, I'm leaving. If you do, so
okay. So what was her issue? Like when I tell y'all I have not watched this show in years, I don't even know what their beef was.
So poor Phaedra she's just a liar. I love Phaedra, but she's been caught lying a few times. That's actually kind of why I like her
since the beginning.
Yeah,
she lied about catching that nut.
Yes,
when she caught it.
Goddamn, how long? When did she catch it? So that's
she didn't want to tell her mama that she caught a nut.
Exactly, but that's just what that was gonna be. So in that, Phaedra had pretty much got into Portia's ear. Her and Candy had fell out, and then her and Portia got cool. She was just kind of talking, her shit about Candy behind Candy's back. And then at some point, I forgot how it came out. Actually, I'm going to tell you how it came out. It came out because Portia went to Candy. Portia confronted Candy about a rumor that her and Todd were trying to put something in her drink, I think, and then rape her in their sex dungeon. They're supposed to have the sex dungeon, and they were going to drug her and do things to her.
That's real?
That was what the rumor was.
Oh.
So what happened is that obviously Candy is not like that.
Right.
She's not drugging and, trying to steal no nuts and, put none in nobody unauthorized.
Right.
So
nobody likes an unauthorized.
That went up to a back and forth thing where, she really felt like, you're really kind of tarnishing my brain. She's a businesswoman. The Me Too thing is kicking up, and then they were also calling her like Peel Cosby or something, like Candy Cosby or shit like that. It was real around that time. So they were having a dinner, and it all came out that information came from Phaedra, and so Candy felt some type of way regarding that, and what I'm saying, she just was not fucking with her, and Phaedra was let go from the show. So
as she should. At
this point, Candy's on the show and so on, and everybody wants Phaedra to come back, but Candy's just real like, if she comes back, girl, I'm gone. Which I wouldn't necessarily mind. I kind of feel like Candy, the Housewives is wonderful for her or whatnot, but I wouldn't mind. I think Candy could hold her own show very much like Kim. Mm-hmm. To me, I think that with the type of personality and all that Candy brings, I get that the Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to be a bigger franchise or a platform than whatever new she starts. Mm-hmm. But if she were to start something new, I think that she would be able to hold it down on her own, especially with these kids, her family, the aunts, Aunt Bebo and Aunt Bully and Bertha and them, the OLG. Like, in my mind, Candy should have at least one more show. And I think that she should have like a Vanderpump Rules type of OLG show. It's real kind of black restaurant bar centered. There's enough drama in there.
Oh, like a Welcome to Sweetie Pies.
Yeah, type of thing. Like Lisa Vanderpump is doing that, or whatnot with Vanderpump Rules and all that type of stuff.
Candy had a show. Did she?
So she does. Candy usually secures like a spinoff show, but it's usually kind of just one season.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a Don't Be Tardy. So it'll be like Candy's Wedding. Or it'll be
it'll be like a limited
Candy's ski vacation. Or
okay. So she just has little random pop ups, not anything. Okay, because I'm like, I thought I seen stuff where she was like, it was just her. So
yeah,
like, okay.
So that's kind of all that does with that. But I'm not saying put Candy off, because Candy is great TV. I love her. I feel like she's one of like the better people on the show, but so much so that I think she can hold her own show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's how all of that happened. So long live Phaedra in my mind, you know, but I also respect Candy Bird. So as long as Candy say you can't come back, girl, you can't come back. But the moment Candy's gone, baby, I want you to go running here. You, the president, the governor, this new man you got or whatever,
Lord,
and let that be that. Other than that, though, I mean, you know, there was some girl who popped up at OLG, and there, you know, because Portia and Dennis, her boyfriend, her father for kid, they had broke up shortly after the baby was born. And it ended up being a thing about infidelity and so on and so forth. So the blogs was talking about some girl, and I don't know where her Serenity. I'm gonna call her Serenity. So if that's not her name, then just know that I'm making her name up.
Okay.
So her name's supposed to be Serenity or Sympathy or Soliloquy, and she popped up the OLG gang, was like, hey, I just want to let y'all know that the blogs are saying that I'm sleeping with Portia's man, but I'm not. I don't know him. I wouldn't do anything like that. Black families rule. It wasn't me. They went back to Portia and was like, hey, Portia, the girl just came to us. Good news. She didn't sleep with the dude. Portia's like, that wasn't the bitch I was worried about no way. So, girl, you just kind of went through and bringing me this don't mean nothing because there's a whole nother bitch over here.
Well, don't you bring me no bad news.
You feel me? That I'm goddamn not checking for because I know it's this bitch over here. So, fuck out of here with that bullshit. And that pretty much was the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
All right.
Well, that, you know, they got started
back,
up
y'all.
pretty fast or whatnot. I guess I neglected to mention the Barbie party. Kenya has his baby, and I think her baby's 1, or I don't know if it's just because she had her baby, and wanted to introduce everybody. She had a Barbie party, so everybody's supposed to bring their kids and whatever and dress as their favorite Barbie. Portia was Holiday Barbie. I think Candy was Rockstar Barbie. Kenya was Kenya Barbie. Was Cynthia there? Cynthia was Wedding Barbie because
Cynthia should have been the Cynthia doll.
She was ready to goddamn. Oh God, she was ready to goddamn be married to Mike Hill, and Candy was. No, Eva was Workout Barbie. Even though she's been pregnant. I think I said Candy's Rockstar Barbie, so that's all the Barbies, and that was it.
Okay.
So that was the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sundays on Bravo.
All right.
Love and Hip Hop was cool. April and Fizz, I guess, really kind of came out, and all the shit's hitting the fan. Moniece is just goddamn so hurt, and you know I'm going through shit, and you weren't there for me, and whatever, or you're not there for me, but you're over here for this bitch. And for me, I'm just like, it from the outside looking in, it looks like Fizz is a good dad, and that's all you can really ask for him. It's my opinion that men, if you're not the type of man who is just uber sincere and empathetic and whatnot, then I feel like when you do show those things to a person, specifically a woman, it's typically because there's an interest there. So I just want Moniece to calm down and, you know, just be like, why aren't you this great dude with me? Well, it's because, bitch, I don't like you. Like, you're kind of irritating or whatnot. And, you know, we've had our back and forths and we don't really have the best type of goddamn relationship. You're the mom of my kid and I don't necessarily think it's my goddamn job to look out for your mental health. Like, that's kind of your thing. And I understand it would be nice for me to do so. And you can maybe kind of attach that in a way that we have kids together or whatnot. But I think for her to just be doing all of this kind of screams at another issue. Like, I think she's looking for too much from him for the current roles that they're both playing in.
Gotcha.
So that's that. And that's the only thing really from Love and Hip Hop that I care to talk about. We watched a little bit of American Son, which if you have not seen, I recommend you do so, on Netflix, starring Kerry Washington. You've probably seen the memes of her making the radio mouth, but you know, if you watch the movie,
making there's the what now?
The radio mouth.
The hell is that?
The mouth, the radio, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Y'all are wrong. See, the internet just...
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow.
If you're unfamiliar with the story, it is...
I need to see this meme.
I got it for you. It's about an estranged interracial couple who is dealing with the disappearance of their son. And I personally find the movie to be very, very interesting. I know that a lot of us as black people are kind of tired of the narrative of black people and cops of the slave movies and things like that. But what I think makes this one different is that the core of the movie is about a relationship between, you know, an ex-wife or a wife and a husband. And then, you know, their kind of experience in trying to find their son. they're at a police department, and obviously the son is, it's black. You could say he's mixed, but he's still going to be seen as black. And there are just so many dynamics that really help to kind of break down a lot of the conversations regarding racism, and also help to kind of bring to light the scenarios of people who have a husband or a wife that is a person of color, someone who's having sex with a person of color, someone who has a child that is a person of color, and how you can still be completely disconnected from the day-to-days on what we go through, and really still be racist in your way, although you have these very close affiliations in which people would kind of use to dispute the fact that you are what you are.
Right.
So if you haven't seen it, I won't give it away, but I think that you should definitely go watch it. It's on Netflix, and it's a great watch.
I think it also highlights too what even though what I've seen so far, because I haven't finished it, but the contention between the parents, one black, one white, but also how those worlds collide and what that looks like as a biracial child. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, even though the world will still perceive him as black, there are a lot of people who are biracial who were raised by the other side of their family. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that they aren't taught, and they do have in their dialogue, the parents, on how they try to pretty much raise him in the white world. Mm-hmm. Like, I sent you to all of these private schools and these prep schools, and spent all this money and
taught you proper English and so
right. So for him, like, at one point the officer is, I don't want to say interrogating Carrie, but asking her questions about her son. And because she's black, he's like, oh, does he have like gang tats, or, just the ways that he's asking questions. Just a completely different line of questioning. Yeah, to figure out his appearance.
Sarah Beth brought little Jake in.
Right. So I feel like it also highlights, even though I haven't seen the son at this point because the two of them are just interacting, it also helps to break down what a biracial child's viewpoint can be in the world when you're looked at as one thing and you may have been raised as another thing, or you could have been biracial and raised culturally black but still have these stigmas around you depending on where you are, because you could have been going to a predominantly white school, or you could have been in a predominantly black school, or how that all of that works for you. So I really feel like for the people who are biracial, and whichever side you claim, this could be a great conversation starter for people around you to kind of see what your upbringing and how the world may perceive you, especially depending on your features. Are you more European leaning, or do you have more Africanized features? Like, what does that look like, especially in terms of how biracial children are perceived? So I think it's a good jumping off point for those conversations.
Yeah, they have a lot of great conversations. I think it's a great movie. Again, if you haven't seen it, please watch. Speaking, I want to kind of go back to nutting a little bit.
Oh God.
Just really quickly. Niecey Nash and her husband are unfortunately going through a divorce. And Niecey Nash is one of my favorite actors. I don't know her in real life, obviously, but she's one of my favorite people in my head. I think she just has like an amazing spirit about her. I love her smile. She's so funny. Mm-hmm. And she just gives me major auntie vibes.
And got body.
Yeah, okay? For days.
Body.
But what she doesn't have is a goddamn clue on, it seems like, what it takes to keep a marriage. Now, I'm not saying that it is her fault that her marriage ended or anything like that. But what I am saying is that when you do kind of put yourself in the space to give people advice on relationships and things like that, I think that once your marriage ends, it's very, very important sometimes to kind of loop back around and maybe just get a realization that if you're going to be together, you're going to be together. And if you both want to be there, there's nothing that's going to tear you apart from each other.
Right.
If you are goddamn swayed by anything else or something else happens, what's going to happen is going to happen, and there's little to nothing that you can do about it.
Right.
That's the game of love, ladies and gentlemen. I just remember one specific comment, however, that Niecey Nash made regarding her need to, I guess, suck the nut out of this nigga's dick.
Before he goes anywhere,
before she goes anywhere, a blowjob a day will keep the goddamn divorce lawyers away. Well, apparently that's not the case, because you've done all this dick sucking, and this man is on his way to no longer being your husband. I don't know who filed the paperwork or whatever, but I think that it's just very important that we kind of go through, and once we're done laughing at stupid shit like this, we have the real conversations of, if you're going to be in a relationship, understand that it takes adults, being mature, communicating properly. It takes discipline. It takes an interest on both ends, and a willingness to really just be there and show up and be there for your partner. It takes two people to get into a relationship and only one to get out. So that also has to be in mind. Because you don't need permission to break up with someone, you are never going to have 100% control over who stays with you.
Right.
So that being said, we've got to stop all the stupid shit about sucking niggas' dicks and, man, cooking for this niggas will keep him and X, Y, and Z.
Well, whatever you don't do, the next bitch will. Like, no, okay, well, she can do that then.
Yeah, if she's going to do it, she's going to do it. Like, and she might not even do it as good as you.
Right.
He just could be curious. Like, we have got to stop thinking that things mean things. There's no guarantees in love. It's called the game of love, for goddamn sake. It is a gamble. Take your gamble. Either you hit or you miss and you get back up and you try again.
And it's crazy because I accidentally started reading her book, like, I think it was called Fight, You Can't Fight Naked or something like that. I thought it was an autobiography. I thought this was like a book about Niecey's life and overcoming certain things. So when I was reading this book, I was like, what the hell is this? I was just like, what is this? And so I don't know when this book was put out, but I feel like it probably may have been like maybe a couple of years into her marriage when she put this book out, because I'm hearing that they were only married for 8. So I'm like, y'all weren't even together long enough for you to even have written this book. So I don't really understand. Like, maybe she was including the courtship phase and the marital phase. But I feel like for anybody to write a marriage book, for me, you got to give me 20 plus.
Yeah.
8 years is not enough for me. Even 10 years is not enough. Because I feel like you still haven't maybe evolved through enough people. Like, y'all haven't been through enough evolutions of yourself to provide any sort of real advice on how to stay together when you and your partner continue to change. Because you definitely can't be the same person
that walked in the aisle and was exchanging vows and shit.
Yeah, 20 years later. So, I mean, of course, even though people do divorce 20 years, 30 years in, the chances of that are a lot less likely. Like, people who stay together that long will probably make it the long haul, at least to the till death part. We can't say to a certain age, but we do know that most of the time, if you are able to stay together that long, you're probably going to continue to stay. He's going to crumble. But 2, 3, 5 years in, hell no, I'm not listening to you. Because change all 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people past who you were when y'all first met for me to even want to take that kind of advice. So I put the book down because I was like, well, first of all, I'm not with no niggas to be sucking dick no way, because I'm kind of swimming in the lady pond at this point in life, so I don't really need all of this testimony. But it was just like knowing that she hadn't been married long enough to even give out such ludicrous tips and stuff. Like, it's just a bunch of old wives' tale stuff. Either you two niggas want to be together and you'll show up to be who y'all need to be in order to keep it going, or you won't.
But point blank, period.
But Big I know dot. the 20-year marriages, hopefully the ones that are healthy and not full of traumas and things, we the ones to write the books to let you know, like, hey, when this bitch changes about 4 or 5 times, y'all will probably start liking each other again, and you'll get to know iteration number 12 a lot more than you liked iteration number 5. But I promised I was gonna love this hoe until forever, and that's just what the fuck I said. And then she said she was gonna be with a nigga like me 12, 20 iterations past, and she's still here, so we just agreed, and that's what the fuck we did.
Yeah.
So write that book.
Yeah, I was like, just write a book about your experience. But I'm gonna tell you who's not goddamn fucking is Deja Harris, T.I.'s daughter.
Oh my god.
I guess kind of the interwebs and things of that nature lit up day before yesterday with T.I. actually guesting on a podcast and having conversations with the other members of the podcast regarding his yearly visits with his daughter to her gynecologist appointments, and how his main reason for being there is to ensure that her hymen is still intact.
I don't care how many words this nigga learns, that does not make up for the fact that many different ways. You are the power dynamic alone just reminds me of when women were given away by their fathers, and the women had to pay a dowry, and then before they actually had sex or night of the sex, like, she had to bleed to show she was a virgin, because if she didn't, then they could do like an honor killing or stone her or whatever shit. So it just seems like he's operating on some real like wild old school shit, which is probably still going on in the world, but the world itself is not really doing that much anymore. Maybe I will speak Western culture. There we go. I will speak for us Westerners over here. We do not typically engage in that process, so for him to be kicking it old school this way is quite disgusting. The power dynamic being that he has been doing this since she was, I guess, old enough to start going to the gynecologist. And then now that she is 18 and considered grown, still going. So now there's like a financial side of that power dynamic, because it is his insurance and he's paying for her and all this other stuff. But to really believe that a Hymen can say whether or not a person has had sex is so... You're just so behind the times.
Yeah.
We're about to go into 2020 and people still believe that the hymen means anything regarding if somebody's had sex. Like, you could be having sex for forever and never tear your hymen, or you could squat too low one day and tear that bitch. Like, it's just a flimsy piece of little skin that will break whenever the fuck you feel like it. And just as you get older, that lining starts to degrade and then it can just break on its own. But to be checking this girl's body and then being like, oh, well, she has the option to have me in the room or not. Nigga, you was in the room? You was in the room while... Please take the... Take the wheel.
This is the thing for me.
Take the wheel.
It's interesting because I feel like we are living in a very... Us specifically, I feel like we're living in a very interesting time where we kind of were born into a time where we can see shifts happening. And I don't think that that's exclusive to just, this particular time period that we're living in. But I think that it is something to be of a certain age and notice it shifts. And I don't think that everyone is of age to notice shifts when they happen or every shift.
Right.
I'm sure there's some that we missed. But, this is kind of one that we are able to see. My grandfather was born in 1922 and my grandmother was born in 1934. And those were kind of my in-house guardians, so to speak. A part of my raising came from that. So a part of this does ring back to what you were saying as far as being the old traditional kind of way of teaching or raising kids. So we're going to be super extreme and just do all this to, I guess, make sure that her hymen is not, that she's not having sex. But she could very well be having sex. Like,
that's what I said. I'm like, you could be fucking and your hymen not tear.
Yeah.
Like, that means nothing. You're invading this child's body.
And see, this is my thing. I feel as though I wouldn't feel I wouldn't feel the way that I feel about this if I felt like this were something that he were doing across the board with his kids. Now, I understand that you're not able to go through and get men tested or do anything like that to see if they've had sex or whatnot in the best of circumstances.
But you're not doing anything to make sure that you are preventing them from having sex. Like, you're encouraging it.
Exactly. And that's where my issue comes in at. My issue comes in at the fact that while you can't take your son to the gyno and get him checked in that way, you could very well show up to the goddamn doctor or physicals with your kid to make sure they don't have STDs or anything like that. Those other things that come with sex that aren't necessarily just in the realm of babies. Show
them pictures of inflamed genitals and shit. Like, where's the scared straight for that?
King has been talking about having sex since he was like has been having sex since he was like 13 or 14. He's younger than Deja. I think what people aren't understanding, or what people think that the people that think like me misunderstand is, all the things of, well, if she gets pregnant, the responsibility is going to be on the mom, most likely, or, you know what I'm saying, if I had someone to do this, then I probably wouldn't have had kids, or what goes on in their house is their business. So let me just kind of break all that down. this became everybody's business once he decided to get on the podcast and talk about it. This is not a case of the media running to somebody's house and extracting information from them or anything like that. He willingly went on a podcast to talk about what he did, and he said it in a way that he felt he was proud of it. Like he's not. It's not registering to him as being something bad or something to be ashamed about or anything like that. And my whole point in that is that this is not the media just running and be like whatever. He went through and went to the media, if you want to be in that way,
and volunteered
the business of his house. So let's kind of knock that out. That whole idea of, let's let whatever stay in their house be their business is tired. It's worn out. And if we were to really do stuff like that, there would be a lot of situations where people wouldn't get the type of justice they need. So we're never going to go through and list that as being the standard. That's going to always be too low and too faulty.
Right.
Regarding the idea that, because I've seen women say that, if my dad did this, I probably wouldn't have had a kid so young and so on and so forth. No one is saying, well, I won't say no one. I'm not saying that what he's doing is not effective. But what I am saying is that it's not foolproof. It's not foolproof. You're not going to ever be able to 100% understand what's going on unless you're there. It's that her hymen can be broken from things that are not sex related, including tampons and fingers. If she decides to finger herself or let somebody finger her or anything like that. She
could just be walking, bopping along, and that bitch tears. Yeah. Like it means absolutely nothing. So, but yeah, go ahead.
We just got to just like that. That's never going to be the standard. I think what most people are missing is that what we're talking about, what we're trying to, I guess, kind of create and see in the world is a world where men are held as accountable as women are. I think that for someone like T.I., who has, like I said, a son who feels comfortable enough to, let his parents know that he's having sex. When we talk about T.I., who is the producer and creator of the movie ATL, and while that is not necessarily real life, he did draw inspiration from his real life. And if you were to go back and kind of look at a particular scene where Evan Ross, who was portraying his younger brother in the movie, was talking, there's all this hype about getting some cutty and X, Y, and Z and some cutty this and cutty that. I think what people are missing is that element. It's, testing aside, the environment is set for men to be, or boys to be encouraged to go out and to be sexual. Or at least they're not discouraged from going out and being sexual. There are situations where encouraged. I think we even talked about the story before where was it Birdman that got Lil Wayne's dick sucked at 14 by a stripper or someone? And didn't Boosie do something similar?
Yeah, Boosie was trying to get a strap. These stories have happened so long ago, yes. but yes, something to that effect.
We're trying to put people onto these young boys, but would not do the same thing for these young women. But we'll turn around and talk about how, the black family is under attack and X, Y, and Z, and they're taking our black men and blah, blah, blah. Well, they don't necessarily have to take them. When we encourage them to go out and have kids, but then also acknowledge or say that the mom is going to have the brunt of the load,
of the responsibility.
You know what I'm saying? And like, we've got to break that down. If my child is 15, or if I'm a man and my child is 15 and I'm encouraging him to have sex, who am I encouraging him to have sex with? Am I encouraging him to have sex with an adult so that can be a rape charge? Or am I encouraging him to have sex with another underage person?
Who we are calling fast and hoes and being ran through hot, fast.
And we're using as the examples of why R. Kelly's not a piece of trash. Like, I really want people to try to take time and not just go off the top of your head. Like, it's not enough to try to be the same that we've always been. We've got to try to do better. So what that means is if we're having this conversation and putting as much into the education and the Planned Parenthood of this young girl. Let's put it into these young men, because it takes the young man to go through and get the young girl pregnant, if I'm correct.
Yes, it does.
I know I haven't just really had to deal with that too much, but that's how I thought it happened.
That's...
So if we're talking about it in that way, we've got to see the totality of it. Again, do extreme things work sometimes? Yes. Could T.I.'s daughter just really also be a virgin because she wants to be a virgin and not necessarily because her dad is taking her or is accompanying her to the goddamn gynecologist? Yes. Also, what happens if her goddamn hymen does break?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I definitely want to know that.
Because this is what we know. If she's doing this so you can keep up on it and whatnot, just on this day, you're not going out with her 364 other days of the year to, lock her in a cage or keep her away from boys, or to make sure that all of the erect penises are away from her. Mm-hmm. On this one day, I'm here. So that's really where the goddamn root of the conversation is. Feel how you feel, but still acknowledge it as sexism. You can't, you can't really do it and not call it what it is.
And I also think it's very intersectional as well. Like, how is this psychologically working with her? Does she find it uncomfortable that her dad is doing this? Are they having any sort of conversations? What is the prep, before and after? Did he explain what he's doing besides just saying, I'm making sure you ain't having sex? Like, and also, could Deja be a lesbian? Could she be asexual? Could she be demisexual? Could she even be attracted to people that have penises? Because you can definitely be a woman and have sex, and a man and his penis does not have to be involved. Like, there's so many different layers to why.
She could be out here sucking dick, for all everybody knows, swallowing nut after nut. Or, like, where's the test? Where are we testing for that?
Exactly. Like, the ways in which, because it's intersectional in the ways that we teach boys versus girls. It's intersectional in the ways of sexuality. Is she somebody that even wants to have sex with men and be penetrated? It also is just how her identity, her autonomy over her own body. Like, he's like, oh, well, I give her the option if I can stay in the room or not. But, like, what conversations are you having to make sure that her mental health is intact, so it does not feel like her father is being invasive with her body? Like, are you teaching her to own her body, and this is a way to help her do that? Like, I feel like as many words as T.I. knows, I don't think he's coming off as just being this intersectional person to make sure that her mental health is also taken care of as he's doing this. Could she feel degraded? Could she feel like, you got two grown adults who have been in, poking around inside of my body for the past few years without my consent? Because as a child, she does not get to consent to this. If he decides to take her to the doctor with his insurance and his money and says, hey, I want you to go in there and make sure that everything is on the up and up the way that it's supposed to be where a woman's body is concerned, go in there and see what's up. Like, how was that fucking with her mentally? Because I was looking at some Twitter comments earlier before we talked about this, and a lot of people were talking about where it came with regards to their body and being comfortable with their sexuality and stuff like that. A lot of it had to do with some of the parenting techniques that they were exposed to while they were growing up, where they feel like their parents were kind of invasive and they needed to go to therapy. Like, some people handle and process stuff differently. So are you making sure her mental health is taken care of? Like, this isn't just one particular issue. This is a lot of different issues depending on which way that you're looking at it. And I mean, body autonomy, sexuality, like what her own preferences are. Is he doing it in such a way that it's taking care of her mental health? Like, this can go in so many different directions, and that makes me curious to hear her side of it if she ever decides to give it. But I just think that before he went and shot his face off saying all of this stuff, that he would have even asked her first. Like, did she agree to have him tell all of this business about her? Like, is this just another case of somebody stepping on her autonomy and just giving out some information about her body that she didn't even volunteer? Like, I just want to know, like, where is her voice in all of this? Where does she get to draw the lines? Where is her power in all of this? Because now we've got a bunch of people talking about her daddy, talking about her vagina on the internet.
Yeah, and because the conversation of her Virginia was brought up, I was reading that she had to cut off her Instagram comments because they were this just goddamn leagues of men asking to take her virginity and all of these type of things.
Look at that.
You know what I'm saying? But apparently, this is my honest opinion. I think that as black people, we're so used to the narrative of not having dads in the houses, not having a father or not having a father figure, that when you do see a dad, no matter how extreme, be involved in his child's life, it's just accepted. Problems and all, because at least he's there, at least he's trying. And we've got to get to a point where we can still be critical, constructively critical, of course, of each other, and just be able to say, hey, I think it's awesome that you are there and you're showing up for your kids. I just think that you can maybe do this a little bit differently or whatnot. Now, is he going to do anything differently? Probably not. But what happens is you just now made this a conversation or a topic point for people to discuss your parenting, because you decided to take your parenting skills and make them available to everyone.
Right.
So, that's pretty much our opinion on the whole T.I. situation or whatnot.
And good luck, Deja, going through all of this. A lot of people probably aren't speaking to you directly. They're probably talking to your Hymen, or they're talking to your father. Much. So just, from woman to woman, personally, I'm sorry that this has happened to you. You obviously did not get a choice in how this situation was going to go down. So I hope that if you have any sort of, issues or mental health or anything that's really happening with all of this conversation going on, please go and talk to somebody. Go to a therapist, tell your mom or people around you that this has been a tough time for you to handle, and just get some help with that before it leads you down a bad road. So I hope that there's somebody that you can confide in and really give your true feelings, and anybody that can kind of help you deal and navigate this situation, because you obviously did not ask for this.
Yeah, all the way. And that's, like I said, our opinion of the Deja T.I. gate. So we want to, I guess, kind of end today's episode, as we do with all of them, by giving our musical spotlight. The musical spotlight for today is no stranger to me, as this person is one of my favorite singers in the fucking world.
Okay.
Having sold over 160 million records.
Boom.
Being one of the world's best-selling musical artists of all time.
Ta-da.
Having countless hit after hit, number ones here and there. Singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, prominent figure, pop culture icon. The first recipient of the MTV Icon Award. My very favorite inductee of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of 2019. Janet Demita motherfucking Joe Jackson.
Boop, 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 boop.
I cannot tell you how much love I have for this woman. I think that when I talk about the very, very, very first artist that I fell in love with, it was Janet Jackson. My mom knew it. I remember her teasing me or whatever about it, and just being hella embarrassed at my crush on this woman, or whatnot. And this lady, unlike most artists, but she's been one of the few that's really been able to kind of really write, I feel like, what would be like the soundtrack of my life. I feel like there are albums that I can turn on and immediately think about, times that were different, or times that were just specific to that time, or whatnot. Being a frequent collaborator of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, motherfucking Janet is held in regard with the likes of the Whitney Houstons, the Mariah Careys, the Toni Braxtons, even of the Beyoncés and things of today. While not having the most powerful voice, her goddamn stage presence was all the power she goddamn needed. Okay. You motherfucking heard her. The songs rocked. You got a good bop.
Put the P in pitch.
And she's motherfucking royalty.
Yes, she is.
Music royalty. So having concerts and performances and presentations like nobody else's fucking business. Janet Jackson is just that bitch for me.
She's
with my
everything.
favorite shout out, album wise, being, well, two, I would have to say, Velvet Rope and All For You. So that's my love for Janet. If you ever hear this, just by chance that someone lets you hear, sweet Lord, if you're up in heaven, just let somebody give her the link. I love you, Janet. We'll always, I feel like you are the fucking blueprint for the Beyoncés and all the girls who really aspire to be entertainers.
So my friend, being the dancer that he was, because I just knew this nigga was finna go on tour and be a backup for Janet.
Yeah.
Like, I just knew that. So we used to go to the club or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend would be sitting there. Of course, we all three supposed to be meeting up. We get there on time. So, you know, we dancing. We looking around. Where's Ted? Where's Ted? Next thing you know, fucking Janet Jackson song comes on. And this nigga comes out of the crowd, out of nowhere. And on beat, okay? Talk about always on beat. Always on beat. If Janet is on, he somehow knows and hearkens from it. I don't know if they flash a Janet Jackson sign in the sky, and this nigga's like on my way, and he hops a few buildings and does whatever, and ninjas down
whatever needs to be done
into the club and parts the dance floor and gets up on the stage and just wows the fuck out. But that shit used to be so funny. I'm talking about every time. Mm-hmm. Every time that happened. If it was a Janet song on and you was looking for him, get ready because he was about to appear.
How's everybody?
Ted Dini, okay?
That's me.
Only Janet was the one that can make this nigga appear out of really no goddamn where.
Ted me to Joe Jackson.
Okay, there it is.
How's
so,
everybody?
But for me, ever since I saw Janet live in Hawaii, running through the at the bottom of the volcano, through the lilies and the valleys,
titty bouncing, quick boob flash. That was the first indication we should.
Okay, I was like, I said, come on,
own.
side and under boob, Janet. Yes, like Janet is just everything. Of course, Michael was a bigger influence for me, so we've always had that in common. Like, he was the Janet stan, I was the Michael stan, but we still stand for the other one as well. We just feel more strongly for either or. But Janet is always.
And then let them hoes come together and do Scream.
Okay, like, who screamed? I screamed.
And it wasn't for ice cream, baby.
I screamed. Okay, I screamed when that video came out, and I still scream when I see it. So Janet has always been an icon for me. Another very strong woman who was not afraid to show her demons and any of the things that she was going through.
For sure. One of the earliest goddamn advocates for LGBT rights, AIDS awareness, feminism, things of that nature.
Get in this fucking rhythm
domestic
nation.
violence from, you know what I'm saying? Janet has always been one whose music has not just been about like topping the charts, but there's been a political undertone in the message, starting from like the rhythm nations and things like that. Even if you want to go to Control, just being a young woman taking control of her career, her destiny, being able to be independent and say, I want to be respected for being the person making the decisions.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, how could you not?
She demonstrated her power through her vulnerability, and I really enjoyed that about Janet. She's not afraid to let us pass the velvet rope. She was not afraid to let us show for her to show us. Okay, I was just thinking that one. Oh my God. We still Wonder Twins. I've got to see Janet twice in concert. I would definitely go more. I just love her. Like, I just love her. And if anybody watches Got to Be Real.
Oh, yes.
Patty LaHaye always made sure that Janet had some very low-key but shady burns.
Yes, she did.
Like, Janet had some shade. It was some whispered shade, but it was some shade for your ass. So go do some homework and go back and listen to some old stuff. Of course, any time we give a musical spotlight, we want you to go and listen to the deep cuts as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, go and get into those. But if you're here for Demita Jo, go and show her some love, give her some streams, and if she's doing any sort of tour or anything in your city, go and check her out, because even at 50 something and now being a mom, she is still out here cutting up for you hoes.
Yes, she is.
So
quiet as up, I love it. So I guess some tracks to motherfucking have for Janet. I'll give you a little thing of hits and deep cuts. That's the Way Love Goes. Always going to be a classic. I think everyone should have that on their playlist. As well, Anytime, Any Place. I don't know if you care too much for the R. Kelly remix, but all of his shenanigans aside, it was a really nice remix. If, of course, Throb, for the dancer girls who just kind of want to go through and have their way. The Velvet Rope album was great. Gave me hits such as like I Get So Motherfucking Lonely. That just, come on, Janet, give me.
For me, I think my favorite. I'm trying to think of my favorite Janet song, but when I think about it, If I don't think too hard, when I don't think too hard, the first thing that comes up for me is "Got Till It's Gone." It's something about that song it is that motherfucking shit.
I remember my sleep used to be Go Deep. I just always
because you heard T
because I didn't get no sleep. Tell T to call Sean. I got a brother named Sean too. Oh, you can tell me she didn't write that for me.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let's go back and forth.
Okay, so from the Unbreakable album, mine is Damn Baby. That
is
my shit.
Oh, yes.
Damn Baby, baby. Yes.
Burn it up, too. But Missy had me cracking up. She's like, meow, meow, meow.
Kitty cat, meow, 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 meow.
I was like, oh, my goodness.
Okay, and even to the present, that Made for Now with Daddy Yankee, that slapped. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I like the video for it, too. That's The Way Love Goes, of course. The Best Things in Life Are Free from the Mo Money soundtrack with Luther Vandross. Okay, like we can go here. Like
When I Think of You, Escapade, Black Cat, Pleasure Principle, Let's Wait a While. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one of the songs that I actually came to enjoy later in life. Funny How Time Flies.
Yes.
Tanashi actually did a kind of a remix or whatever, I call it a reboot of that song. But not quite keeping it the same. It just had a really, really kind of cool thing. And I remember when we were doing halftime or shit, that used to kind of be like our stretch song when we were stretching. It was just real cool and laid back.
Doesn't really matter when she was in her Harajuku Barbie phase.
Yes, ma'am. The people, like when I say this bitch did that on this for the Nerd Professor soundtrack on this
and when they gave us the little behind the video to show how she did everything, and of course when she did All For You and she was dancing and talking about because she wasn't dancing with shoes on, she was like, it felt so stank. I just love Janet's like her off camera personality. Ugh, this is so stank.
Rope Burn from the Velvet Rope soundtrack.
My friend gave me a lap dance.
Oh, so funny.
To that song on my birthday.
I have no idea why we even did that.
17?
Why are we giving lap dances? And I'm good gay and aware of it. Just I don't know what the hell's going on. We were just doing what we wanted to.
Why? I mean, we was out here.
Strawberry Bounce. All Night Don't Stop. R&B Junkie.
Feedback.
I Want You.
Feedback.
Like all moist.
Oh, You Want This?
Yes.
That was my
Early
shit.
In the morning,
you want this? Ooh. Okay.
Like I think a lot of people don't even know that Control wasn't her first CD. She had like self-titled Janet Jackson and Dream Street out.
Dream Street, yeah.
Prior to that. But it was Control that really just kind of took her off. And I mean, I guess we can really oh, hold on. What's the other song? Make Me. Remember the one she did with the little white on the shoulders? Mm-hmm. So she did that. Yeah. I mean, we can do this all day.
We could.
But, you know, what you can also do is open up your Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, or pull out your cassette and or compact disc and give Janet a spin.
Mm-hmm. Do your homework. And get to them deep cuts.
I promise you,
for real. Dig into that catalog.
And if you need a visual aid to go with it, you know she also has a CD of videos. Or you can just throw on like the Live in Hawaii DVD or the HBO Velvet Rope. So I mean. You know, it's your choice.
There's options.
But you're not going to be disappointed.
Oh, and check out her MTV Icons.
Yes, first one.
Should be on YouTube
NSYNC
somewhere.
did that. I love that little version. That's The Way Love Goes.
Yes, they did.
That was dope. And she's supposed to have a Netflix special that's up and coming too.
Ooh, I can't wait for
that.
that.
So I can't wait to see how the notoriously private Janet Jackson lets us into her life. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we can do this all day or whatever, but we don't have the time, and neither do you. And this has been the Opinionated Podcast.
All right, bye.
Oh.